Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, corn dog lovers of all ages, welcome to In the Box with your hosts, Matt and Adam.
And Gio.
Everybody get...
Hello.
Hello.
Put a loose salami in a bull shark, Graham. Let's go.
We'll get to them.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
get to them.
Hello, MASL family. In the Box Live, Monday, I don't know, November 15th, 2021.
Yes.
That seems about right.
November 15th.
You will notice there's a lack of a third person. Matt is not going to be able to join us tonight, but we'll carry on without him. So, how's everyone doing out there?
Before we get started, I do want to give out a personal shout out to Nick McDonald because he called me out that I missed them twice, which is fair. It's not intentional, I swear to God.
Should I shut off your video while you're talking about him?
No, it's not intentional, I swear. But I was happy to do the interview with Joey when we first originally talked to them, which was fun. And I do need to get back on there when they come on. So next time you guys are on, I promise I'll be here. No, see, it's on air now. Now I have to do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. So speaking of which, we'll get to Nick a little later. I gotta talk about a bunch of things. So the season started kinda ish. First preseason, like real preseason games. I think didn't Tacoma have one like a month ago or something?
They did.
They didn't have anything on air, and I don't even think they published a score or anything.
Dallas also is having one.
Savage had one, but there was no stream or anything for it too.
No. There was a stream. It just wasn't on their Savage page. It wasn't on their page.
Was it indoor or was it outdoor?
It was indoor.
Or was it indoor outdoor?
It was indoor outdoor.
It's arena soccer.
It's arena soccer.
Suddenly the name makes sense again.
Yeah.
Brian Roth just had a coronary. Oh, indoor.
Well, yeah, so I know teams are preparing, for the season and everything, but it would be nice to get, the streams. Granted, Savage had one. They had a few games actually. They had a few other games at Corner Sports, and they had a 7-a-side game on 2 weeks ago, something like that. So they're working.
So yep, the 2022 Central Cup runs through Kansas City. From Eric. Hey Eric, hey Jack. So
Eric.
Yeah, I know.
I can't even the worst part is I can't even say anything because they won.
So the funny thing about Kansas City, I'm on a weekly. I've been on like this weekly email blast from LinkedIn for 20 years, 15 years, something like that. And it's just it's like an automatic job search that I set up like a million years ago, and I never go in. I never bothered to go in and unsubscribe for it. Today I got one of the more amusing posts. It was for a job on site in Kansas City, MI, which is Michigan, which I'm sure they didn't mean because there is no Kansas City, Michigan. And then in the fine print it said Kansasville, Wisconsin.
Huh.
Like, I have no idea where the heck this thing would even be. And if they can't even get the city straight, how would anyone be interested in working for them?
Yeah, that's a virtual location.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, I call this corner of my desk Kansas City, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I just knocked on the
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah, let's get to the Central Cup. So Central Cup this year was much different. There was only 2 games, and the M1 teams didn't play each other, and the M2 teams didn't play each other. There were 4 games total, and then all sorts of craziness happened with the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it just for the fact that there were like games,
Games.
like actual games again, and we can hear Nick and Eric, and we can watch most of the players that we're going to be seeing in the regular season for the M1 teams. I know they're playing like Leo Gibbs didn't play at all. St. Louis
He played
still
the second game, right?
What's that?
He played the second game, right?
No, he coached both games.
He did he? Oh, for some reason I swear I heard them say he was on the field.
Oh,
But that may have been me just like not paying attention.
he might have
and
ran on the
hearing his
he
name.
might have like ran on the field like Emmanuel did from Omaha, but he wasn't actually on the field playing. So the games were let's get the good stuff out of the way.
Yes.
So we'll start with my favorite topic, broadcast quality. Are you guys seeing my stream? The stream here, is this playing?
Yes.
Why does it look like it's paused on my screen?
You want me to check?
Yeah, anybody
Guys.
in the chat, let me know if this is
Chat. Can we get a few corn dogs in the chat?
corn dogs in the chat. We need a corn dog emoji for YouTube chat.
Yeah, we do.
That'd be great. It looks like it's still paused.
I think it's just your screen.
Is it?
Guys, can you let us know?
Yep, Jack said we're good. Okay, well, never mind. So on my screen, I don't know what happens if I refresh this, if it kills the
Don't do that.
feed or
Don't
not.
do
So I'm
that.
just not going to do it.
Just
Okay.
trust Jack.
What about you? So everything works. We're not paused.
Oh, I'm not supposed to move. My bad. I suck at that.
I know, you just got to be more in with it. But so broadcast, the thing I get on the most about, there we go, broadcast quality. Everyone who's watched this show knows I'm just all over the thing about broadcast quality. So
Please disregard the last 5 minutes, though.
of what? Oh, of
the
our show?
broadcast.
No, I don't care about our show's broadcast quality. I'm talking about the feeds, the streams from the teams, the games.
Got you.
So my scale is a 10 out of 10 means it's ready for primetime TV. So like our feed here on YouTube is like maybe a 2.5 out of 10. Kansas City right out of the gate, 10 out of 10. I think things are a little better than last season even. I think last season was, I think they've improved things a little bit. Like the big center KC logo used to kind of wash the camera out when the ball went by, and I think they've gotten that balance fixed. And it's not easy because the blue and the white are such drastic colors. But they've done a really good job at that. St. Louis, I'm going to give them a 8.7. Actually, I don't have a point system. I'll do a 9 out of 10. There were the best video and the audio quality I've ever seen. There were
St.
some.
Louis, yeah, completely.
The cameraman followed the ball. The only issue that I had was they had problems coming out of the quarters. So St. Louis guys, the quarter break is 3 minutes, not 7, not 8, not 12. And then what they were doing is they would switch to that like end goal where the field was this way.
The angle where they could see the whole field. Yeah.
Right, but everything was like really far away. And they would continue to play the camera or the commercial audio through that. And they were this close away from missing a goal. That was the loose salami in the bull shark aquarium goal. But so Guy Fieri on the mic was the best part of this over the weekend. Tell me I'm wrong. Welcome to In the Box with your host Adam and Gio. Oh, let's get ripped. I actually.
Oh my god!
I did the voice like almost perfectly once because I was doing that all weekend long. So my wife and I had our vaccine boosters on Friday, and I also had my flu shot. So we were just conked out the whole weekend. I blame it on the vaccine, but whatever. Any excuse to just sit on the couch and watch TV all weekend and not do anything else is good excuse for me. So I was doing that all weekend long, just making fun of the guy. But I have something to say about that later, so no hate yet if anyone's watching here. I did it once and I got it like perfect, and my voice hurt for like 2 minutes after that. I don't know how he can do that. Like Brian Johnson from AC/DC. His voice, he sings in that like grovelly. I don't even want to try it because I don't want to hurt myself.
Right.
Actually, I do have some vocal cord damage anyway from some neck surgeries, but that's a totally different topic. Will MASL in the neck maybe one of these days, but that sounds weird. But
that sounds.
I don't know how he does that. But since we're on that topic, St. Louis has new announcers. Joey Zanaboni, who was announced a couple months ago, and then Matt Rocchio. I hope I pronounced that right. He kept calling him Rocky, so I didn't know. And then I saw his name pronounced. It's Rocchio, so I'm assuming it's Rocchio. Rocchio? That doesn't sound right. Why would you call somebody Rocky if their name was Rocchio? So we'll call them Joey and Matt.
Yeah, let's go with the easy names, Joey and Matt.
Joey and Matt. So Joey's the main guy.
You want to start?
So when I first started, I'm like, what is this guy's issue? Because the voice is like really forced, and he's almost like playing a character, and it's like, what is going on? And then he starts letting loose these weird ass lines, and I'm like, this. My first thought was everyone is gonna hate this guy, and then like halfway through the first game, I'm like, I love this guy. It's just like.
So that was my reaction, right? My reaction was pretty similar to yours. It was, what is this atrocity? And then I was like, this guy's actually kind of funny. I'm over here cracking up. So I'm like, I can get with this. My only 2 points is maybe focus a little bit on more play-by-play instead of so much the rants. The quotes need to stay because that's freaking hilarious.
100%, yes.
But the play-by-play, focus a little bit more on play-by-play and not so much on like the random rants because they talked about all kinds of stuff. I get it. You don't have to be like consistently talking about every second of the game, but less rants.
Yeah, Jack says he's like he's trying to cut a wrestling promo in the 80s and 90s. It's so comical that it draws you in. And so Jack, you posted that it was like Guy Fieri. I don't know how to pronounce his name, even though I'm Italian. And somebody replied saying it was like Adam, it was Ben Stiller in Dodgeball. And I went and I grabbed a clip of Ben Stiller in Dodgeball. I'm like, oh, I can't unhear this now. The quotes. So there was a guy who did play-by-play in Chicago named Joe Passarella. He's still around on Facebook. I don't know if he does announcing anymore. He doesn't do it for the Mustangs or all that. That relationship was over many years ago. But every goal, he would do a random movie quote. And some of them were like just bizarre. Like he would like, I'm a huge My Cousin Vinny fan. So he would do, so somebody scores a goal, he goes, I'm a lawyer, see us lawyers, or something like that. And it just seemed like weird. I'm like, where do these like quotes come from? Oh, and Eric said the Off the Wall group lost their collective mind. I can imagine. I didn't check over there. I do every once in a while, but I didn't even want to see it because I knew they were going to lose their minds. And
I could just imagine.
My thought on this. So, Joey. So, okay, let's start with Matt. Matt has a really good soccer mind. You can tell he knows indoor. You could tell he's played before. You can tell he's or been involved in the game before. He said he was a ref once. Or no, Joey said he was a ref once. That story was funny. And I really appreciated Matt's color. And Joey as a play-by-play guy is just, they're like a great team. And obviously, they're not going to be a Nick and Eric. But I think they're what this sport needs. Like, I'm all for, like, let's get the gimmicks off the field. Like, the multiple point scoring, not letting the goalkeepers kick the ball. All those gimmicks, and we'll get to that in a second. But having that in the announcing booth is amazing. It was just like Shelley, Jeff Locker.
Yeah.
Standing
100%.
ovation. Well, I don't want to get up, but it's.
No, and I think like, well, I know we're going to get back to the games, but like, I think every broadcast team needs their own like style, so it's not like you're listening to the same thing everywhere. So I
Yes.
like, I like that Nick Vassos and Eric do their thing. I like these two new guys. I like the guys over in Ontario. So it's like I'm appreciating all these different styles, and I think I like these guys for what they do, and I'm happy they're on board. So keep doing what you're doing. Just less rants, more
A little
play
less
by play.
rants, but they're also new to the sport. I mean, Joey's new to the sport.
Right.
Um,
But constructive criticism.
yeah.
We're
I
not one to talk about rants, though.
yeah, I mean, let's go on a rant about rants.
No, don't,
No? No? Okay. Hey, before we get any further, I saw Emma said something. So Emma is so Wave fans. If anyone knows who Sarah and Adrian Knowles are, they are Matthew Knowles' parents. They're British. They speak with cool accents. Matthew is wheelchair, nonverbal for life. He has CP and a number of other health issues. He's my band's biggest fan, or no, we're his biggest fan. That's how it works. Um, but he loves our music, and that's how Sarah first reached out to me. She said that he really liked listening to the music, and he really liked what we did. And I'm like, well, okay, we got to do something for him. So we dedicated a couple songs to him, and we got him a T-shirt, and we all signed it. He was in. If anyone's friends with me on Facebook, you've seen pictures over the years of Matthew. Adrian is going through a number of health issues and is in the hospital. Has been in and out of the hospital for about a month now. And Emma is doing a collection for just maybe not straight money, but she works at a British grocery store now, which is like the coolest thing ever in Wisconsin, I guess. And she's gonna get like a giant care package with some gift cards and some maybe like meal prep kits, or you not exactly sure what we're gonna do. But if anyone's interested, please reach out to me or Emma on Facebook, and we'll hook you up with what we need to do. There's a account set up that she's accepting money through, and everyone that we know is going to donate and just kind of help out. Adrian, hopefully Adrian's not watching this, because then we'd spoil the surprise. But Adrian, we're all pulling for you. Get better, because wave season is starting very soon, and you need to be out there. All right, so that's it. Back to yes. Matt's not here.
Oh.
Sorry, Emma.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I'm here, Emma. Jeez, hello.
Well, she was doing like the intro.
I'm kidding.
With your hosts, Matt and Adam and Gio. We got some Crunch fans in the audience. Kevin, you've been a fairly regular to the show, and we appreciate that. Capes 13, is that Capinos by chance? Mama Capinos, maybe? No?
I know, but I hope you guys are excited for. Well, we'll get into that in a second.
We will. I mean, yes, we will.
The goalkeeper rule. Wait. Let's finish wrapping up the Central Cup before I forget my point.
Central Cup. So the good thing, all the good things aside, we got games, we got awesome broadcasts, we got this great team in St. Louis. They're gonna be a lot of fun. It was tough watching St. Louis games. We've gone over that before, so hopefully we won't have to do that. I do want to see what kind of stuff this guy comes up with across 12 home games and possibly some playoffs. Because it's like a cat's paw in a hotel bidet, and it was a shaved Pomeranian in a hotel bathroom. Those are two of the other ones.
And not to forget the stool ad, the stool softener ad.
I forgot what that was. And then there was just like the random, like, I don't even know what the hell he said. Oh, it's like, what? So yes, Joey, we are huge fans. You got to keep up with that. Anyone who doesn't like Joey needs to listen to him more. Let's just put it this way, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I've never talked to him. I would listen to every single game this season. And sorry, Eric, for saying this. I would listen to every game this season. Like, if I had a choice, would you rather? Would you rather listen to every single game with Joey announcing, or one game with Brian Ackley in a semi-coma announcing? And I'll take Joey on every single game, every time.
I can't even entertain this.
Struggles. To Reggit.
So the Central Cup,
Back to
right?
Rose. Silva.
Um,
Oh, in
the
1987, the Tampa Bay Rowdies used to. I think they still got the turf in the back. And back to Reggit.
so
So anyway,
first of all, congratulations, Kansas City, aka congratulations, Eric.
yep,
Uh,
yep.
you guys held on to your title one more year.
One more, yeah, yeah. In the true fashion of the MASL, it was a completely different format than last year. You still managed to figure out how to do it. So congratulations. There were
Yeah,
some amazing games. I mean, 14-2 and 9-2 for 23 total goals. Only 4 given up and a goal differential 19.
yeah. Well, I mean, since we threw out the scores of those games, so like you said, Comets beat the Wings 14-2, and then turn around and beat the Kings 9-2. Ambush beat the Kings 9-2, and turn around and squeeze out a victory. Let's be honest, they squeezed out a victory, 8-6.
If so St. Louis went on a rush in about 10 minutes of like 6 goals.
Right.
And if Omaha could have held them to half of that, it would have been a win.
Oh yeah, Omaha. They, or sorry, no, the Wings. They reacted way late, but then when they did react, they played so much better than, I mean, and at points than St. Louis at points,
Yeah.
and that's why it became such a close game. I mean, they were holding that possession, they were knocking the ball around. It was fun. I liked that game. That game was fun, actually.
That was a good game. I mean, so the first game was fun to watch just because it was the first game back in a while. KC's
Right.
atmosphere is electrifying to watch. It's a great thing. The second game was like, okay, so what I did is I watched the first game, kind of ignored what was going on in the second game, even though kind of someone kind of spoiled it for me on the air. Not naming any
Me?
names.
Me?
No,
Oh,
someone
I was
announcing
gonna.
the KC game.
Oh,
May or may not be in the chat right now. May or may
oh,
not
that's
have
always
spoiled the score for me.
that's always.
But I got to message me, like Dennis messaged me and asked if there was a mercy rule at some point, and
You
so
got the gist of it.
yeah. But then I went and played pool for a while because I needed to just not sit in front of the for a while, and I was kind of getting weird, antsy from vaccination after effects and things like that. So, and then I came back at like 11:30 and watched the last game and almost fell asleep at some point because that one it wasn't as exciting because it was the second game,
No,
but
it
then
was.
Joey kind of kept it exciting, so it was good. And then Saturday's game was hoping that Omaha would come back. So it's no surprise I own my very own Omaha Kings jersey. I do have the other one too, the teal to white and orange. But as anyone might have heard, I goofed up when I ordered that, and I must have scrolled the wheel too much, and I ordered it extra small instead of a medium, so I gave it to my daughter, and she's worn it and she loves it. So, but I couldn't go get it from her because the closet's scary. Actual living things in there. So,
Ay, ay, ay.
but yeah, so I'm a giant Kings fan. There are some really cool things happening in Omaha. We kind of talked about that with their stadium and or arena and issues that they're having there. I hope they can pull through and figure things out. I know they're going to play no matter what, but I hope they can get things really going and become what
Yeah,
everything that they're looking to do with that team. I think they
yeah,
can
and
do
they
it.
have some amazing players, man.
They have
They
some
have some
amazing
good players.
players. So Ali Soto already got picked up by KC.
Right.
Next player to get picked up is going to be Sebastian Contreras.
Oh yeah.
He's number 10 on Omaha, and he had the ball. He's the one doing all the cool footwork and faking out and maybe trying a little too hard sometimes, but
But man,
definitely
those goals that he puts on, man, Jesus.
he I mean, one of my favorites is the one, and he did this when we saw them in September. He basically faked 2 guys out
Oh yeah,
by going to the
yeah,
left, and both guys bit on it, but both of them were separated. They weren't like stacked behind each other, and managed to get around him and score. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there were some cool
He's such a
things
good
going on
player.
there.
Yeah, he's such a good player. I want to say something about these preseason games. It's just three quick points. I know some people are. I'm not going to say names, but I know some people are
Jay,
reacting.
excuse me, sorry.
It's not just Jay. It's not just Jay, right? But it is mainly Jay. That's what we're here for, guys.
Yeah, yeah. We need to give him material for his show
Right,
tomorrow, his
right.
Tuesday
So
show.
his Tuesday show, right? So you know something that Jay said about like how there's no competition and blah blah blah. Personally, and I'm pretty sure as a person that has either has played and has ran a team slash I've done a lot in the world of soccer, right? There's preseason games where we have that has nothing to do with competition, right? It's the idea is that the competition will happen because anytime you step on the turf or the grass or whatever, anything can happen, right? Any team can have their day, any team can have a bad day. The whole idea of it is to prepare for the season coming. So whether it's giving players that usually don't play playing time, whether it's trying new tactics, whether it's getting your operations up and going, you're testing your broadcast, whatever is the case, the preseason game is the place to try it, get it right. So then when you roll into this regular season, you're not dealing with that stuff. So that's one point, right? The other point is it allows fans of your team to see you play a team you normally don't play, right? Whether it's a M2 team, whether it's a PSL team, M3 team, doesn't matter. It's just a new experience for your fans. And I'm pretty sure there's fans out there that enjoy it. I'm pretty sure there's some fans that probably don't enjoy it and probably won't watch it, but that's okay. The whole purpose is just to give the fans the opportunity to experience that. And then my last point is, guys, we had games. Let's just
Games, yeah.
enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it. It's not out. We're not out here like any team could beat any team. Like, I mean, it happens. Yes, there's a probability. There's probability in a play that 9 out of those 10 times KC is going to beat a M2 team or an M3 team, right? Of course, they're a professional team. We would expect that. But there's always that one chance, right? That Omaha turns around and beat KC's. We've seen it.
Like they did in September,
So
yeah.
it's that's the moment we watch for. That's the moment KC fans are like, oh, I hope that doesn't happen again, right? That's what excitement's about. It's about the passion in the sport, the chances that could happen. It's not, it's not competitive enough. If you don't enjoy it, don't watch the preseason games and wait till the regular season.
And this season you're not paying for it. So two comments in chat. We'll start with the most important one. Robert Palmer, how you doing, buddy? The preseason games are good to see. Trialist and every team should do the preseason games. And I think most teams do. Like the Wave has usually done. I think they played Muskegon last year. We've never been able to make the preseason game because it's always been like during the week.
It's almost at random times.
Well, because what they do is they do a school day game.
Right.
So they have like all the, and apparently it's like 3,000 screaming little kids. And maybe that's okay to not make it, but I was hoping to be able to, there was one this year, but it doesn't look like there's going to be that. Nothing's been announced. I'm sure something would have already been on the books already because Thanksgiving is next week. I think it's usually like right around now is when it would happen, like this coming week. So
right.
maybe
They probably might be having like closed doors ones.
And they could, yeah. But then the second comment is Matt was wondering what's worse, the goalkeeper rule or Gio's jersey. So we'll let you guys vote on that.
My jersey? Did he just disrespect Dallas?
I think
my
so.
God.
I think so. It's okay though. I mean, pretty much
Just
have to be
ignore it.
used to it by now. Anyway.
But yeah, the Dallas is like they're awesome organization.
That's a great organization. I don't not want to toot my horn here, but I'm glad we did what we did for them when we did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like their social media is probably one of the best social media. I'm like, not to be funny, It really is. And like last season when they started their social media like campaign, they would not get much engagement. Now they're getting a lot of
Yeah.
engagement. So it's good on them.
So
They're
far,
doing good things.
So far, it's 2-1. Sid and Scotty are for the jersey, and Matt is against the jersey.
I'm gonna tell Mujin. Oh wait, he left.
Wait, is somebody joining us? Hang on.
You know what? I'm gonna tell Lipe. Oh, I cannot wait to see Lipe play.
Is
Now
he,
you guys got
is he
me going.
re-signed?
Oh, I'm frozen. I'm frozen.
You're not?
No, I'm not frozen. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. If I'm pretty sure he's stuck in that situation that we covered on my podcast. Like, I'm kidding. I won't plug myself.
You have a podcast?
I'm just kidding. But yeah, so he might be stuck in the limbo with the visa situation, but I haven't heard anything. I've really been 100% following what's going on with the Blast. I haven't really paid attention to what's going on with other teams. So
I
can't
haven't
say.
really either. I've seen a couple things. The Utica's getting more active now.
Finally,
Noticed.
they got a commercial out, some kind of commercial today.
Just
So
like real
the
quick.
Wave are active. That was a shock.
Man, what's going on here? Please hold. Technical difficulties. Oh, Gio's gone too. I'm the only one here. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I just got kicked out for some reason. Whatever you're doing, kick me out.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking to Matt, trying to get him on the thing.
Should we go into a timeout?
Oh, there we go. Oh. Hang on.
Hey, man.
Oh, man. Okay. Can you guys?
So Matt is here, audio version.
Wait, we don't. I have to switch things to get Matt on here anyway.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Perfect. I'm just a blue screen.
No, there you go. Matt's here with.
Perfect.
Imagine the corn dog mouth moving, and that's Matt.
Yeah,
We gotta
that's
edit that.
exactly me.
We gotta edit it so it does that.
God no. So what did I miss? Let me
we were just
give
talking about
like 2
Central
cents on
Cup.
everything.
Have you put a loose salami in a bull shark aquarium lately?
Oh my God. So I did not get a chance to listen to as much of him as I wanted to. But I think we should probably do like a bingo card with like just random sayings.
We could. So I wouldn't even say sayings. We could do like
Words.
hey Google, give me a random word.
Oh, nice. Google just failed you.
Synecdoche.
Oh, yeah.
You probably can't hear it because it's too quiet.
No,
Okay, Google,
we
shut
didn't
up.
hear it.
So bull shark, stool softener, was that a thing?
Yeah. that was definitely-
Pomeranian. Bidet.
I would like to hear Eric Bergred mention stool softener on his broadcast.
Oh, that's
This
never
is-
happening.
This is
Well, I
good.
know it's not, but
Why does your thing say Joey Tavernisi?
Because you changed my name when Joey Tavernisi was here.
Let's fix that real quick. Sorry about that. Sorry, Joey.
that's awesome.
Notice I
Joey,
didn't say
we're-
sorry to you. I
Yeah,
just said
Joey
sorry
would
to
never wear a Dallas jersey.
Well,
Wait,
he's
wait,
wearing
wait,
a
wait.
Let's see.
I think we have a game here. So Eric, if you're still in the chat, you need to. So what needs to happen is you need to repeat a phrase that is said in St. Louis the game before your game. I think we have a challenge. I think we have a challenge going on.
Yeah.
No, this is what we should do. We should play in the box bingo, where we just pick random words that will be said on broadcasts.
We were gonna do that.
Yeah, when we do like our predictions and stuff.
And
In fact-
one of my words is always going to be cookie jars.
Okay, so I didn't load up the soundboard, so I'm not going to be able to do the sound clip, Matt. Sorry, but I created a bingo card, and Eric says, or maybe they need to repeat us. So we created a bingo card for the next season, which who knows when I wrote this down because there's no dates by it, but I think it was last season that we did this. But here's the phrases that I have on the bingo card so far: slippery balls, goalkeeping. Let me guess where we get some of these from. Timeout. Comparison of today's game to the 1980s. The phrase "nothing the goalkeeper could do there." The phrase "the next goal is crucial." Completely distorted audio. A video replay misses a goal, and a corn dog sighting. Those are the things that I wrote down.
So wait, can we go back? So there were no timeouts in the Central Cup?
Yeah, they were. There were.
Oh, because Eric mentioned he mentioned my over under on the amount of times he was going to say timeout, and he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna be saying it." So
yeah, KC took one. KC took one the first game. Right as Eric just was like, this would be a perfect time to call a timeout. As he was saying that, KC was taking a timeout.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you guys talked about the Central Cup. So I don't know if you guys mentioned this. I think the two teams should go at it on the 26th, and the winner is the winner of the Central Cup.
What a coincidence!
Yeah.
You know what's happening on the 26th?
Yeah.
Those two teams are playing each other.
Exactly. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Because they're playing each other.
We didn't get into the actual games. I started kind of backwards, and I started with the broadcast first. That was the best looking and sounding broadcast I've ever heard from St. Louis ever.
Yes, I agree.
And
I agree 100%.
We both love Joey and Matt, the new broadcast team, and for like my first comment. So okay, you guys know what I think about Mario and Turlock. I'm a huge fan, and probably not for the reasons that I think maybe. And at first, I was saying Joey now replaces Mario as my favorite announcer.
I'm gonna stick with Mario. See, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. It seems too much. I think it's too. I don't know. When you mention a bull shark and all the stool softener, I don't know.
I went through the first half of the first game going, or the first St. Louis game going, what the hell am I listening to? And what is going on?
It's like they took a script of Nick and Eric's broadcast, okay? They took out some key words and then they played Mad Libs.
Right. Right.
Hey, give me a noun. Stool softener. Okay.
Bull shark.
Aquarium.
Yeah, but I think their broadcast would be you guys wouldn't feel like that had they not ranted so much, because I feel like there was moments where it was 10 minutes worth of rant and there was no play-by-play.
But the thing is, so I started out that way, and then all of a sudden I'm cracking up and enjoying it and loving it and engaged in a complete blowout of a game at 1 a.m.
Yeah, but that's how many people can feel like that, right?
I don't care as long as I do.
Well, then there we go. The A in MASL stands for Adam, obviously.
Well, surely it doesn't stand for arena, because there's no such thing as arena soccer. Just ask Brian Roth.
Oh, and so that means the M stands for Matt?
No, it definitely doesn't.
Adam. Major Ad.
Matt, Adam.
It's MJSL. What I did there?
No.
Oh my
but
God.
No,
yeah. So we talked about
I'm a huge fan of them now, and I just so I don't know if you guys, Gio, you're probably not old enough to know who Howard Stern is, but
I am actually, sir.
Did you see his movie called Private Parts?
No, I didn't watch that movie, but I did watch him.
there was this poll at one point, And one lady is like, well, hey, Jay's in the chat. He wants a copyright. We'll give you a third of all our royalties from tonight's show. You can
We're
get
letting
those.
you watch the show, Jay, so you can have content.
It's a bag. It's a bag of $0.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But no, there's a thing saying, you know, how many ever percent of the people are fans of Howard Stern and they watch his show because they want to see what he has to say next. And then 75% of the people hate Howard Stern, but they watch his show because they want to see what he has to say next. And that's kind of what I feel about these guys, because I don't think I can miss a broadcast from them, because I want to see 12 full season games of them and in this guy's crazy after goal like things, ranging from a loose salami in a bull shark aquarium to or whatever he was. I don't know, is that Japanese? Sorry if I offended anyone Japanese out there.
Oh, get him! Get him!
But
no, I can't. I need both, like, the excitement. I'm sure he's passionate about the game, and that's great, and that's wonderful. But you got to be informative as well, I think. And
that's
I mean,
what.
of course, the standard, and everyone's going to be compared to them. But I don't know. I have to go back and maybe watch a little more just to kind of. I don't know. Maybe it's like dipping my foot into cold water, where it's like, I don't know if I can do that, but maybe like a little bit at a time. I don't know.
What if there was a bull shark in that aquarium?
Maybe.
You know what's really good? It's when you're done working out and you dip your body in ice water. That's what you need to do, Matt. You just need to watch a bunch of old MASL broadcasts, and when your ears are sore of that stuff, just dip yourself in the new St. Louis broadcast.
Okay, wait, hear me out.
Well, speaking of broadcasts, so the Wallace Score short today is one example. That guy could not pronounce Slavica Ubiparapovic, and he wasn't even remotely close. If you listen to that whole broadcast, he says his name wrong, and it's 30 different versions of it, and the last one is the worst one ever.
You know who that guy is, right?
Yes, I do.
Alex Bastjavansky, I think his name was.
Yeah.
The MSL primetime guy.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna call him Slava, but he never, like, that thing. He's like, I don't even know. He added extra syllables and umlauts, and I'm just like, okay, well. So maybe that's what I'll do.
This is what happens. You guys, Gio, you probably have run into this before. But when you're, Jack is RIP Metro Stars. So when like robocallers, our telemarketers will call you. Essentially what it does is a robocaller calls 20 numbers at the same time. Whoever answers, that number pops up on the screen, and then that call is connected to a person. All of a sudden what happens is there's a list of 20 people, and Adam Granatella comes up onto the screen, and the person's like, hello, Mr. And they have a stroke because they see all these letters and they have no idea what to do, and then they go, Mr. Grantanella. That's what happens when you're goal scored by Slava. He just can't
but
say it.
He wasn't even like talking about like the goal had happened, and it was like 30 seconds after everything had died down, and he's like, I forget what he said, Pasaparipovic or Puvic or
oh my
like
god.
Him and Mario had the two worst pronunciations of his name I have ever heard, and they're hilarious.
Well, Mario was okay. Hear me out. Joey Zanaboni and Mario Alvarez announcing a game together.
Walk into a bar.
That's just like a joke waiting to happen.
The fastest rate of mute ever in the history of broadcast.
Seriously.
Oh my god. Yeah.
No, I think the guy's name is Matthew, right?
Matt Rocchio. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rocchio.
Matt, he's a good compliment to him because he actually delivers like knowledgeable stuff.
Eric said something a while ago saying, what did he say? I don't. It's in the chat somewhere. Let's see, it was in the chat somewhere. Eric.
Well, yeah. So we also talked about the scores while Adam is searching in the comments. We also talked about the scores, Matt, and then
Yeah, they were blowouts except one.
yeah, I think that was the best game too. Personally, for my thoughts, I think that St. Louis Wichita game was probably as far as like.
So I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch most of the Sunday games. I did watch the Saturday games. I did watch those.
You mean the Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, that too.
So, Eric, I found it. Eric said Matt, being the St. Louis guy, is a more pure color commentator than I am. I appreciate his insight, and I thought that was a great comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought
Luke?
for a stretch of probably 10 minutes of game time, St. Louis scored 6 goals and put the game out of reach. And if Wichita could have held them to even half of that, even just 3, they would have won the game.
Oh yeah.
That's how close that one was.
I like that, man. One of my favorite M2 players is Taylor Henry. He is a freaking monster, man.
Hang on, I just got scolded by Emma. Emma, I'm sorry. This is kind of how these shows go. We start on a topic and we kind of go all over to every other
It's
place.
my fault. It's my fault.
Let's blame it on Matt. But we are gonna get to the goalkeeper rule.
Yes. Now.
Ooh, can I just? Okay, I'll just say this. I didn't mind it. I thought it was rather interesting. I don't think it really affected play that much. Like, the big surprise to me from the weekend was Kansas City having all of that glass down. It was great.
It was surprising to me to see the glass down. I thought the glass was going to be up.
Yeah, that was one of the things I didn't really like, but let's not get into glass because I'm 100% glass up now.
Yeah.
2020 has ruined. No, 2021 has ruined it for me because I have enjoyed the glass being up, and now I have to deal with teams having the choice.
Well, I hope the glass is down on the 28th for the exhibition game. Which, by the way, I'm going to go on a rant for 2 seconds. Cleveland is definitely not going to beat Utica. I saw that in the chat. I'm like, no.
Uh-oh. There it goes. Yeah. So do we know if that one's going to be streamed or televised or iPhoned or something?
Not sure yet. If it's like the other exhibition games Utica has had, no.
Okay.
So,
but,
Matt.
Who knows? I'll message Tommy and I'll get an answer. Yeah.
Matt, what happens if Cleveland wins?
They take Utica's spot in the league.
Good for them, I guess. I mean, they know. If they win, then that's great. But
no, man, I was hoping for a much better reaction than that.
I can't think of anything. I mean, no, the only thing I can think of is like if Milwaukee goes undefeated, I eat my hair or something like that. Or no, it's I get a tattoo.
What the? What? Okay.
What? No. So remember. Okay,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So Jay made a comment about Milwaukee going undefeated this year.
Well, he said 22-2 originally.
No, I think he said
undefeated. Okay. I remember.
Yeah. And then I'm like, that's not going to happen. So, but if it does, I will get a tattoo if you're choosing.
And then Jay said, "Can I pick the pose?" And then everyone closed the thread down because they didn't want to see the possibilities of what might happen.
We're all set.
Yeah, that's when I left too. Yeah. But yeah, so that if Cleveland wins, Matt,
they're not going to. So let's just
find something. We gotta. Let's make a bet. We'll make a bet. We're gonna think of it. We're gonna make a bet.
They're not going to. I'm sorry. I'm
But
sorry.
But what if?
They're not.
You have kids. You have answered this question. Dad, what would happen if an elephant crashed through our roof right now? What? Well, come on. What if?
That has a better chance of happening than Cleveland beating Utica.
oh my God, if Utica loses, man, I will not let you live this down.
If Utica loses, I'm going to start looking for elephants every time I go outside.
Sorry, Emma. We're gonna get back to the goalkeeper rule.
Wait, so
Goalkeeper
Emma,
rule,
okay,
yeah,
Emma,
great.
Emma had a comment that I'm going to read out. She said, so she was talking about the Central Cup and the fact that the M1 and M2 teams never played each other. I actually missed her comment the first time. So Emma, I have like 5 screens up and I'm not looking at the chat all the time. Matt can't see the chat and Gio was having internet issues, so he wasn't looking at the chat. So it's on me to miss that. I missed that. And actually you're in bed now, so it probably doesn't matter, but I'm still going to go through this anyway. So she said it would be like Man City, Man United playing Macclesfield and is Derby County really Derby County because it's British? And the two big teams never play each other. I assume that the Macclesfield and Derby County are two lower league teams.
They're championship teams.
So then yes, that
one
would be
is
exactly
League One.
Yeah.
League One, yeah.
That's exactly what that would be like, where St. Louis and KC never played each other. Now, last year, they were able to get 3 games in each, so each team played each other at least once. And this year, so my default answer to why doesn't something happen in indoor soccer is always money. And the second answer to that is arena availability, which is tied directly to money. So what I'm sure happened is there just weren't any arena dates on Sunday at either place, either KC or St. Louis, and this was the only way it would work out, is having 2 games on Friday and 2 games on Saturday and 3 total games in St. Louis, with KC making the travel.
What I would love to see.
We're gonna just dub the 26th game as the championship game. MASL, they don't have to do it, but for us in the box, the 26th is the Central Cup championship game.
I dub thee.
But there will be no corn dog trophy.
I dub thee.
Right, yeah, we're not gonna send.
Now here, this is before we go into the goalkeeper rule for real. I would love to see an open like MASL tournament where M3 teams, M2 teams, and M1 teams all play. Just because I think it can be a preseason team tournament, doesn't matter. I just would love to see that, just to give people a chance to see their team plays new teams. Personally,
I think that would be cool. I think that what you're doing is when you play preseason like this, you have many different things going on. You have the M2 teams are going to try their damnedest to beat the M1 teams just purely out of pride, and that you have the M1.
In that moment, like, can you imagine if you're an M2 team that beats an M1 team? You know, like how players feel.
Oh, look at the Omaha KC
Omaha
game over the summer. But the M1 team, they have a balance to do. Like they need to do like the things that you were talking about before. They need to balance the roster and they need to figure out. They're still making cuts on the game day roster versus practice squad at that point. They have to watch players. They have to see players. They have to get someone like a Nick McDonald who is kind of that borderline 14th, 15th player on the roster to get him out there full games the entire time. Definitely not saying anything wrong, bad about Nick in that comment, but they want to see more of the players because they're going to need to have depth in their roster. They know what they're going to get out of Kevin Ellis, out of Leo, out of the top names. They don't know what they're going to get out of a lot of these other players, and they don't know what kind of chemistry they're going to get between a lot of these players. That's why you saw Lou Meisner play the second game. That's why you saw, there were a couple players who didn't play the first game. I was glad to see Ray Lee out there because it sounded like he wasn't going to make it the whole weekend.
Right. Yeah.
From there, but so I thought that was I think it's a weird kind of fine line to follow because you also don't want to. Not that you want to give the other guys a chance to brag, but kind of it's a sense of pride too.
Right. I mean, can you imagine how like I joked about this on Twitter, and I know Eric was like, "No, we were just playing," but I was like, "Oh no, sorry." KC was like, "No, we were just preparing for our season and whatever." but it was like them getting their revenge. I mean, the players, the front office might be like, oh no, we're just preparing for a season.
Oh.
Sure. But if you talk to your players, they're out there to get revenge.
Oh, the players like, these guys beat us. We can't let that happen. And plus, there may
Right.
be a tiebreaker for whatever. And we'll talk about tiebreakers in a second here.
Right.
So, Jay made a comment in one of the things about they shouldn't call it the Central Cup then if it's a preseason exhibition. There's mostly a soccer thing, I think, but there are a lot of preseason tournaments that have names and they have cups. They're called the whatever cup. MLS has had a number of them and they change from year to year. They have some are local, some happen, with multiple teams. The teams change in and out. Some are only a couple teams. College football, like I know Wisconsin and Minnesota have like the Lumberjack Axe, the Paul Bunyan Axe that they give back and forth. Granted, that's a regular season game anyway, but it's not always at the same stadium because they flip flop every year. But I mean, I think these things are fun, and it's much better than just saying, "Oh, let's play an exhibition game," because then you can get the broadcast going, you can get the people in the stands. The other thing I was going to mention is that there was an obvious reason why there were many more people in the stands last year than this year. Last year was a COVID year. Season got cut short. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody knew if there was really going to even be a season at that point. A whole bunch of teams had just dropped out. St. Louis was able to kind of put this thing together, and KC was able to put this thing together. The All-Star game was announced. It just had a lot of hype around it. And this year, obviously, in St. Louis, there weren't that many people there. KC crowd was better. St. Louis didn't have a lot of people there. It's the last weekend of a lot of youth soccer, a lot of different things going on. So I don't want to make an excuse for why it didn't really seem like there were a lot of people there. I think it's really a true preseason game.
I'm pretty sure if St. Louis wasn't hosting 3 games, it would have been a different situation as well.
Right. And the first game, the KC Omaha game, they kind of got a bad draw on that one because St. Louis fans got one ticket for both games. But like one was at 3 and one was at 7. It's just enough time to not be able to do anything in between games. Mm-hmm. So if you're probably only going to go to one game, you're going to go to the St. Louis game. And then if you're a KC fan, I did see a couple of KC fans there, they're probably not going to stay through the whole St. Louis game.
Right.
But again, arena availability, travel, the whole thing just kind of works out the way it works out. But let's talk about the format a little bit. So that kind of led me up to the whole format thing. I didn't really appreciate the way the format was done. I thought there should have been some cross-team play, and I think maybe doing a final game.
Yep.
Like 1 and 2 play and 3 and 4 play. And that way you just all but guarantee that the two teams are going to play each other. That every team is going to play everybody. I think that would have been a neat thing just to, because these guys win the Central Cup, these guys win third, and just to get the last game. And I get that arena availability didn't work out. Last year they did it across 2 weekends. This year with Thanksgiving being in there, it kind of just didn't work out that way. Although they could have done it this weekend, I guess.
Yeah, maybe even
you got travel for other teams. There's just a lot of things going on there. I think it was a better format last season. I do think that tiebreakers were goofy. So when Kansas City was done with their games, they had 23 goals scored and a goal differential in 19. 4 head-to-head goals given up. I think Matt just dropped.
He was talking to you, but then I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if he... Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I talked over him. Sorry, Matt, if I did. Or his phone went wonky or just went...
No, he said something. He said something in between you talking about the format and the weekends, and then you going into the tiebreakers, and then he just disappeared. I don't know what happened.
I didn't hear him. Maybe something was going on with the meeting thing. Because last week with the Sunflower guys, I didn't hear the one guy the entire time. We had 3 people on, and I couldn't hear the one guy the entire time, but everyone else could hear him. Okay, well, okay, great. But I think the 3 tiebreakers were head-to-head, which didn't happen between the top 2. That could have obviously been an easy tiebreaker. The second one was the goals given up, and then the third one was the goal differential. I think they just should have gone with goal differential as the number one tiebreaker, because there was a
Yeah.
chance in there. There was a time in there where, so both games against Omaha were 9-2. So St. Louis came in, only had given up 2 goals, and Kansas City had given up 4. So St. Louis could have won that game like 1-0 or 2-1, and they would have won the Central Cup with 12 less goals, or I don't know, math is hard. Double-digit fewer goals than Kansas City had. I just kind of thought that didn't make any sense because they played the same teams. Kansas City obviously did better against both teams than St. Louis would have, but just with the away goals, or not the away, the goals
The goal
against,
differential. Yeah.
just with goals against being the first tiebreaker, St. Louis could have gone in there and given up, only scored 1 goal or 2 goals in that final game, and then they could have still won the Central Cup. So I thought that was really goofy. Now, granted, that didn't happen. So
Yeah, yeah. Some of the formats. I hope next season. I hope one, we have a Central Cup next season, and two, I hope they change the format so that everyone plays everyone, because I think that's I personally, I think it would generate more buzz, and I hope we market it better, because it would be great to see like stands filled, and not just in 2 arenas. Hopefully.
it would be great to be able to go on the MASL site and see any reference of any Central Cup ever.
Oh, and that too.
Because it's completely gone now, and we can't find. We found a third party article from
Thank you, Blue Statement.
the Kansas City Blue Statement.com.
Yep. Thank you.
Was the
for
one
the
that covered
information.
that, and can't find. It used to be you could at least see the Central Cup stuff on the MSL site, but it's just completely gone now.
I guess they
happened.
unsanctioned the 2021 again.
Fortunately,
as well.
there were no incidents that required punishment of said or non-punishment of said unsafe. So that's that.
We'll see.
All right, let's get into the thing that everyone wants us to talk about:
The goalkeeper rule.
the goalkeeper rule. So Matt had some comments on that.
Hopefully
I
he
agree.
comes back.
I feel so. We always go with. So I'm a former poker player, and we go with sample size. Like, people are like, "Oh, it's 1,000,000 to 1 to get a royal flush, and I just got one, so somebody's cheating." Well, no, that's not what that means. I don't think there are enough games and enough play to really determine what the goalkeeper rule came into play.
Yeah.
I thought in the first KC game, Neto could have sat out the entire second half, and the score would have been the same thing. I don't even mean somebody replace him. I mean just play 5 field players with an empty net. Not even a 6th attacker, just 5 field players, same way they were playing the game. And I think the score would have been the same, because Wichita could barely cross midfield. And very few passes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you froze up a second. I didn't know if you were talking. Go ahead.
No, I had just started talking. I mean, KC, Omaha's not KC. Omaha, I think Neto came up big in as far as like certain saves in certain situations, but as far as like them running the ball, I think I agree 100% with what you said. Like, Neto just wasn't there, so like we couldn't even use KC's, as an example of the
Right.
goalkeeper rule, because like it just wasn't happening. It wasn't. Omaha had shots, but they were like not always on target.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even Omaha. It was the Wichita game was a 14-2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I said Omaha, didn't I? I meant to say Wichita.
Well,
I meant to say
you got the
Wichita.
Kings and the Wings.
Damn it.
You can't get stuff straight enough as it is, so that's just not fair.
No, but yeah. So they just weren't on target. It just wasn't a good game, especially if we want to look at a rule, right? I mean, there was a situation where I thought KC, being the team that has played like if this rule existed, right? Neto didn't always touch the ball. They always played forward. They were always guns blazing going forward. But there was a situation where Neto received or had a save, but instead of playing it, I want to say it was Ray Lee dropped into one of the corners and played it out to Ray Lee instead of hitting the counterattack, right? And I was like, oh, that's the complete opposite of what we're looking for.
Well, and the right. So right now, and I made this analogy. Right now, they have the game that they know, and that's a
Right.
circle hole, and they have this new rule, which is the square peg. And instead of making the whole square to fit it in, they're trying to find a bigger hammer to make this thing fit in the game that they know. That's why it's going to take a while. That's why I keep saying if we fast forward 3 years in the future, game is going to look much different with this rule than it does now with this rule going in. That's why, like, even Joey agreed that the first half of this season is going to be kind of a cluster. He used the term helter skelter. I'll use a less political term, which I won't say out loud. But so I think there's a lot to be learned on that. I didn't. Oh, he's back. Are you back?
So well, before Matt jumps in, I had two things to say. Right, the Kings, they are obviously teams are going to attack this new rule differently, and the Kings were one of the few that played this differently. What they would normally do at their goal, they did at the half field, where they were just swinging the ball.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I noticed two things, and actually one of them I just thought of that I noticed. I didn't write any notes down because I didn't feel like it, and I was being lazy. Other than that, I would have. But the two things I noticed, especially in the KC game, is KC was playing like a fifth man sweeper,
Right.
and instead of the ball going back. Now the problem there, as far as like I would have if I were Neto, not that I wasn't touching the ball, but that the camera never really went behind the yellow line. The camera was going from yellow line to goal, and you almost didn't see where Neto even was. Whereas a lot of the other times, Neto will be standing at the yellow line, but he knows he really can't in a lot of these situations. The other thing I noticed, and this is the one I just thought of, let's say a ball, they're passing somewhere or they're trying to hit a player on the run and they miss him. And 90% of the time, the goalkeeper would come out and play that ball. What I noticed in a number, probably all 4 games, was a defender would then come back and play it. And they would call off the goalkeeper because they knew that if the goalkeeper touched it, they wouldn't be able to play it back to him at all. So it's almost like they kept their safety net. So they brought a defender back, then brought the ball up, and then they still had that safety net if they needed it.
Right.
I thought that was interesting, but I can see that being taken advantage of. But then on the other hand, I don't know, part of me is like, well, if the streaking player just keeps running, knowing that the goalkeeper may not get it or the goalkeeper may hesitate, that may break apart that rule. But on the other hand, the goalkeeper might just come out and bomb out of bounds, and that resets everything. As long as you can cross the yellow line, you can bomb out of bounds, and it just played anywhere.
So there are 2 points. 2 points, real quick. One about Joey's how the first half of the season is going to be nuts. Personally, I felt like if we're calling ourselves a professional league and we want to hold ourselves to a professional standard, this is a professional league. Let me not say that. If this is a professional league, right? I feel like we should have tested it enough to the point where we could roll it out and feel like the games are going to referee calls. And I know they're working on that. I know they're having referees tested and all that. But I just feel like we shouldn't even have to think about that. It shouldn't even be like, oh, is it going to be okay? Like, no, the players might make mistakes. But as far as a league, it should be smooth. Now, the other point is, I forgot. I totally forgot my point. What were you saying about the goalkeepers?
Remember the new rule? We were talking about the new rule.
No. Before that, it was a point to what you said.
Oh, them not being on the screen at all in a broadcast.
Right. No, but it wasn't that. I totally forgot.
Going out to get a loose ball, maybe.
Oh, right. Yeah, there you go. So now, what I appreciate about this rule, or maybe not appreciate, is that teams are gonna address this rule different, whether they want to be a possession-based team or a moving fast, counter-attacking team, whatever the case is, right? But I feel like if keepers or if teams train coach their keepers to come out and play, they can find themselves in serious trouble because if you get an Ian Bennett on somebody, let's say just Neto, right? Just because that's the name that popped in my head. If Neto comes out, Ian Bennett pressures that, and he presses it. Ian's a pretty fast guy, and he presses that, and then the defenders don't get back. Like, I guess this is maybe a plus to what Keith was saying.
I think that's one of Keith's pluses that it's a risk reward thing.
Right, and it's also encouraging players to be better.
Yeah,
is the ultimate point, right? Is to encourage players to think ahead. It's not just hit a ball, and it's also like, how is my touch? How is my vision? How is my passing? If those three things aren't good, it's going to show quick. So that's a plus.
I think it is seen as a plus there, and we saw Heiner House get burned by it a couple times.
Right.
That'll come up in a minute. What I did want to do is I wanted to read this part of the rule and then show you guys a video. So the rule is page 25 of 33, 12.12c of goalkeeping restrictions. Part of that paragraph, and if you look at the MASL, they call it the laws of the game now. Everything highlighted in green is new this year. This one says if the goalkeeper takes a restart, he cannot legally touch the ball again in his own half unless an opponent touches the ball goes out of play, or the goalkeeper crosses midfield. Now, read what I wrote again, or I'll read what I read again.
You wrote it? Nice.
Yes, I'll write what I talked and what I smelled again. If the goalkeeper takes a restart, he cannot legally touch the ball again until one of those things happen. So, let me play this quick. Nope, that's not it.
Oh, that's nice.
Hang on.
M3, baby.
Nope, here we go. It's over here. All right, here we go. Here's Heiner House taking a free kick. It'll start in a second.
A whistle. I like the gamesmanship.
Ref spots the ball.
Give it
He kicks it. He gets a pass back. Right there should be a foul, according to the rule.
Walk it out of the back.
And then he walks up with it. Now he's in midfield. He can play it. But according to that rule, that second touch should have been a foul. And the ref was right in front of his face.
And that's to my point, right? Like, we need to feel that whether the players make the mistake or not, that doesn't matter. It's if we as a league are equipped to make the calls, right? That's what matters to me. If we're not, this rule isn't ready.
Well,
personally,
I mean, this was the third preseason game where the rule just came into play this last week. Granted, I know. Hey, Matt. Matt, we couldn't hear you if you were talking. So come back in if you can, because I
get you. And for a preseason game, that's fine.
Yeah.
100% fine.
Absolutely.
But for the season, that should not happen.
Well, and if anyone's watching this who knows any better, if I'm wrong about this, because I know if the goalkeeper plays with his hands, like either on a throw or a distribution or after a save, then they can play it back to him. He can play it once with his feet. But this is clearly kind of stated in the rules that if so, Jack just said, I thought if the goalkeeper was starting the play, whether it be a throw or kick in, then that doesn't count as his one touch. Only on a throw in or rollout. So only with his hands is how we understand the rule. And then based on the rule that I just read, it says if the goalkeeper takes a restart, he cannot legally touch the ball again in his own half. So I think that's pretty much says it.
Another thing that I think is going to be really tough, and this would be a negative, is how clear are we on possession, right? How clear are we with what do you consider the other team possessing? Are we talking about it tips his toe, or are we talking about that he controls it? Because
the word of the law, the word of the jeez, words are hard, man. It's like a loose salami in a bull shark aquarium.
Oh boy, Adam is a new person.
It's so rule once a goalkeeper or sixth attacker deliberately releases the ball from his possession by foot, he shall not touch the ball again in his own half until after opponent has touched the ball.
So it's just touched.
Straight out touch. So you could do some kind of crazy thing where you could just kick
I
the
was just
ball right
banging
at
off a defender, bro. I was just banging off a defender or an offensive player. Oh, he touched it, ref.
Right. It's to the letter of the law. That is absolutely true. And you could play like a tennis match against like the stomach of the attacking player.
You're just
Just
gonna
bam,
have
bam,
guys.
bam, bam, bam.
You're just gonna have guys getting barreled with the ball.
I don't think they'll try that. I think the goalkeepers are smart enough to realize that's probably a little bit too risky. It's like when the guy in outdoor is trying to mess with the goalkeeper when he's punting. There's a reason why the goalkeeper doesn't blast him with that ball, because that would hurt from 2 yards away.
For sure.
That would really hurt. But there's a reason why they don't do it, because we've already seen enough goalkeepers kicking it off their own players or whatever. But yeah, so I didn't want to. Okay, let me kind of
Back up.
a little. I didn't play that video to call you out or anything. I just wanted to show an example of, from that ref, he's probably seen that restart happen that way 10,000 times in his career, coaching indoor or refereeing indoor, because that's just a standard. Like, you've seen the two guys will stand next to each other, one will like just tip it with his toe and the other guy will get it or whatever, and then that kind of stuff has happened all the time. And especially the cross field stuff where the goalkeeper takes the kick and it comes right back to him.
Right.
That shouldn't be able to happen anymore. I think that's going to change up some things too, because now, like they've said in the outdoor game, sometimes you're at a disadvantage doing a throw in because you're one player down, because your player down is the one throwing in the ball. And now kind of the guy kicking the ball could be at a slight disadvantage now, or having it more equal because he doesn't have that extra player he can kick back and forth to.
Right. Yeah.
He can always, what probably should have happened is the defender should have taken that pass to another defender, and then pass back to the goalkeeper if they wanted to.
Yeah. Or when he received the ball from the goalkeeper, he shouldn't just automatically went back. He should have known where he wanted to go. And the outside mid should have been dragging his defender to the back post instead of having two defenders in front of their one defender. But that's me getting into way too. But
these are all the things that are going to evolve, that the game's going to evolve into.
Right.
It's don't get the bigger hammer, it's cut the hole bigger block.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. 100%.
The stool softener. You can't use the stool softener on the block. You can't use the hammer or the bull shark or the shaved Pomeranian.
So the stool softener won't make it soft?
I have to get back. So I think we only really have one, unless you have more. I have one more thing I want to talk about. Looking through my notes here.
We're good. We
have to bring up the top 3 goals of the Central Cup. And
I already got mine.
So we'll each have our own 3. Then. Do you want to go first?
Wait, I had 1.
Oh, okay. I have 3.
Okay, I have 2.
There's strategy behind what I'm doing here, because I don't want someone to get mad.
I have 2.
You want to go yours first, or you want me to do mine?
No, you go first.
Okay.
Because I don't have a third.
So last year, we didn't give Nick the best goal in the Central Cup. He had a great shot from the right side, which is the far side on the broadcast, upper 90. I loved it. I can't remember who won, but there was another better goal.
He did that this year too.
Well, I have 3 goals. In third place, and here's what I'm going to do. Oh, crap.
How about you do it in no particular order?
Matt just did. No, I have to do it in order. Matt just gave me. Oh, well, okay. I have 4. I have 4 goals. 2 of them are tied for first place. So first place is going to get 3 points. Second place is going to get 2 points. Third place is going to get 1 point. It's going to be the MPS of goals. I'm going to agree with Matt and say for first place, it was the head ball goal from Omaha, Wallace-Scora. I think it was Contreras. I think
so. The
other first place goal was NDI. Mo NDI from St. Louis, kicking it from 2 fields away and just roofing the ball like through the back of the net, out the back door, and into some poor lady's minivan out in the parking lot.
Wasn't that just right after they scored too?
Yes.
Oh, it was literally. I'm pretty sure they were still celebrating in their heads.
It was, there were only like 12 seconds left in the half or so,
Right.
quarter or whatever. So those 2 goals each get 3 points. Now, my number 2 goal is when Nick McDonald chipped Heiner House.
Oh, that was nice too.
That was a really nice finesse goal.
Yeah.
And then, no, sorry, that's my number 3 goal. That only gets 1 point. My number 2 goal is when Nick McDonald had that really cool back heel flip, basically right in front of the goal. So if we even out the scores, NDI gets 3 points, Contreras gets 3 points, Nick, by virtue of getting 2 in the final top 4, you get 3 points, and everyone's even. And now you can't come back and say I didn't vote for you for the best goal, and because there's points, there's this whole system, and it's clear it's as well defined as the Central Cup is on the MASL site right now.
You're just a cheater.
Yeah, absolutely, I'll own up to that 100%.
Those are all good goals, though. I really can't do a top because they were all really good goals. But I do have the Nick McDonald one that was the weird heel flip, whatever you want to call it. That was one of my favorites. The other one was Benji's off the wall header.
Oh, it was Benji's header. It was Benji's header, and that was not. Wait. Well, I thought Omaha did the header. No, it was Benji's header in Casey.
It was, yeah.
Sorry, Omaha. Sorry, Contreras. I got that wrong.
But Contreras has one of my favorite goals. It was their second goal in the St. Louis match, where St. Louis was completely running the team, and he just put the moves on the left, pulled it to the right, and just hit an absolute banger from outside the corner.
Was that the one where he went around the 2 guys? Right. Yes. Agreed. He also gets 3 points for the best goal. So Benji, Contreras, NDI, and Nick all get 3 points, and they all win. And anyone else who scored a cool goal, please feel free to petition me. I still have points left over under my desk. I will hand them out as needed.
Yeah, those are my favorite goals of this tournament.
Yeah, I forgot it was Benji's headball because Benji didn't play in the second game.
Yeah, he did not.
Benji, by the way, okay, so if we have to say best hair, Benji wins. Best hair of the Central Cup is Benji all the way. So congratulations, Benji. You win a point.
You know what's funny? The Contreras' transition. I think last season he had cornrows. I think so.
That sounds familiar. I think so.
And now he has pretty much a shaved head.
No, he had the little thing in the back.
Is it shaved? It's not shaved. It's almost shaved.
It wasn't as
that's
strange
true.
as Adamea.
But
Remember his hair? So he had
This is true.
I had my daughter cracking up because he did this thing in Milwaukee. You know how they do like I don't know what the technical term for it, where they roll the ball on their right foot like this and this and this and that all to the side.
The side rolls?
We'll call them side rolls, yes.
Or rollovers?
Yes. He did that in a circle. Because he was essentially backwards in a circle to essentially just clear and back. And she's like, "You checked that out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, somebody hit the turbo button on top of his head, and now he's charging back up, and he has to go."
Oh my god, you're wild.
I miss doing these shows and talking about actual games and actual soccer play.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is.
It's fun. It is really, really fun.
The only other thing we have left to do, so I think we're going to take the next week off because Thanksgiving and reasons and stuff. We need to do our predictions for the two matches. So, Matt, how do we handle this? There are 2 matches between the top 2 teams in the Central Cup this weekend. Or not this weekend, but the Thanksgiving weekend. How do we...
Oh yeah, I don't understand why they're playing 2 back-to-backs as the season opener. I mean, it is what it is.
It's kind of cool. So Friday night, November 26th, is the Comets hosting the Ambush. And Saturday night, November 27th, is the Ambush hosting the Comets. Those are the only 2 games that weekend. I was pleasantly surprised at the Ambush this weekend.
Yeah, I will agree.
I thought with all the things going on with Everton leaving and the number of players leaving, and you can see what happened there and what players left and why. With Paulo, it's kind of heartbreaking that Paulo just got injured.
Got injured. Oh,
I think Sway is going to be a great goalie. I know Scotty Fellows has been really high on him for a while, trying to get him to Milwaukee as like a backup. And Cortez looked good. Where did Cortez play before?
wasn't he Sunflower?
No, Sunflower's goalie was, I can't pronounce his name.
Oh, that's right. He went to KC, right?
No, he was going to be. He's St. Louis's third goalkeeper.
So he is St. Louis.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Sunflower guy is St. Louis's third, but he didn't play at all because they picked
Right.
up Sway and they picked up Cortez.
Right.
I think Sway clear front runner for the top spot, but Cortez was pretty solid.
Were you thinking about the name Fowler?
No,
Because Fowler's a field player, but he
No.
also played in St. Louis. Or sorry, Sunflower.
old.
But anyways, you know who two players I really, really like? I really, really like. They're St. Louis players is Koshikov and Mijatovic. Those are two players that have grown on me,
Wave fans
and I'm
are
glad
still,
to see JT is back.
Yeah, and
Back.
Pepe just lighting things on fire all out there. Hat trick.
Yeah.
Um,
So
He was
that
Favela.
was, if I
Tito
was to put
Favela was from Sunflower.
Favela, yeah. That's it. But yeah, so man, that's a lineup right there for me.
Wave fans have a
Mijatovic.
grudge against Kojakov when he tried to kill Ian Bennett once. Scotty, it was not Pollo Cortez. It was another Cortez. I looked that up, and it wasn't the same name. Pollo
No,
Cortez played for Mesquite, and we were surprised that he never played anywhere because he was really good.
Pollo is in. No, he's not. He's not in Savage, but he is in a Mexican squad. I can't remember which one.
We thought after Mesquite bowed out that he would show up somewhere for sure, and he just didn't. Visa issue, maybe something. But it was not that Cortez. It was some. I can't remember his first name, and of course, now that there's no record of anything anywhere about the Central Cup, I can't find anything on it. No rosters, no nothing. So I don't.
I want to say.
Go back
I
and look
want
through
to
the game.
say. No, I want to say that Savage picked up Pollo. Something tells me that they.
Savage. So let's talk Savage for a second. Jay, I think you're in trouble, man. Savage has been signing all sorts of players, and they already had a really, really good team. Like they probably didn't have to sign anyone, and they could have come in to the league and been just fine.
Dude, their captain, Flaco, he is probably one of my favorite players just on the way he plays. He's just an absolute monster. I'm excited to see him in the first division.
I'm gonna have to find out if I can get a Savage jersey with Kanye's. Because I have a Kanye's Sonora jersey that's a one of a kind because it was a misprint. It has a wrong number on it.
No way, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was when I ran into the former owner of Sonora, the former owner, I should say, in St. Louis in a hotel right before that owners meeting in the international game that they had a couple summers ago. And I was like, hey, how can I get my hands on a Sonora jersey? I want to buy one. I want to, because I told the Sunflower guys, I will definitely, let me know when the jersey's out. I will definitely buy one because I could probably get contacts to just send them. Jays says Chihuahua games will look like the Central Cup. They should change their mascot to a punching bag.
They have Escalante. Oh my god!
I've won some pretty big bets in my life, both sports bets and poker. The $20 I win from Jay is going to be some of the sweetest money I've won in my life. So Jay and I have a bet that if Chihuahua wins 13 games, which is they break 500, he owes me 20. Otherwise, I owe him 20. He's convinced that on game 13, I will be giving him money.
Dude, their roster. I'm just sitting here looking at their roster. Their roster is stacked, man.
I know. And it's not
Their
even
roster
full.
is so stacked. Oh my god! And it's not even just M2 players. That's the worst part.
It's
That's the
not
worst
full.
part.
Well, their time in
So
the M2, time in the M2
they
is so short.
right. So they have their full roster up on Facebook. If anybody wants to check it out, they're I think it's 20 players,
Oh,
6, 9,
12,
12,
16, 7. There's only 17 on the
17.
official roster on MSL site.
They only have 17 here as well. They haven't put out all their whole team.
Right.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't know what the limit's going to be, but I know before playoffs last, or I don't know how many ever seasons ago when we had a season, it was 26, 25 or 26. I think it was 26.
Mhm.
You can get a lot of players on 26 players. They could almost have, okay, here you go, Jay. I'll throw you a bone here. They could almost have, Jay, if you win, you're getting it all on pennies. So just get ready. Get the wheelbarrow ready. Oh, I'm just kidding. Jay said a 10 and 2 fives, please. Savage second place in the West. I think I agree with that, Brad. I think San Diego is gonna still. Although I don't know, I could see. See, I think the West has a chance of all 4 teams making the playoffs. I just or 3 of them because I think Ontario is going to be super strong. I think San Diego, and Chihuahua could have a problem of having too many cooks in the kitchen, but I've been so wrong on making that prediction in the past. I don't even know if I should say that out loud. Because I said that about
I
Florida.
I think so. I'm torn. Like, no disrespect, Philly, Panda, and Jonathan. I there's I do think the teams that are going to be fighting for that top spot are going to be Chihuahua and San Diego. I do think that, and I hope I'm wrong, and either Tacoma Stars or Ontario Fury come out blazing. I do, but I just based on the players that they have, I'm just like, I don't. Not that uh Fury, are slouches or the Stars, right? But the Stars, they haven't been always consistent. Fury just lost a huge component in their offensive, with Charlie going over to San Diego. So it's like, by the way, what a dagger. I know things didn't work out right, but that's like going from the Boston Red Sox to the Yankees. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Ugh. Sorry.
There's gonna be a little bit of emotion in that first game,
Yeah.
first Fury San Diego game. What I think is cool. So let's start playoffs a second. I think it's cool that there's not just 2 teams from each division going.
Oh yeah.
That it's not going to be a guaranteed San Diego and Monterey, and then Tacoma and or who was it? San Diego. Yeah, it's not like a guaranteed San Diego Monterey. We'll just say, and then Tacoma and Ontario are trying to fight for like a 3rd spot, or that didn't even work out right. Guaranteed
I
San
get what
Diego.
you're saying.
Yeah, and it's not because it used to for years it was those 2 teams just fighting each other for that 3rd or that 2nd spot, and I like the fact that not only can they be fighting each other, they can be fighting 5 other teams in other divisions.
That's why I like the point system so much.
Well, and I like the fact that it's cross division and
Right. At the same
only
time.
the one from each division. So you definitely get a lot for winning your division. You get
Right.
guaranteed playoff spot. You get top seeds, but then it's a free for all throughout the whole thing. And we can get schedule strength arguments in here if there were a Rochester in, or like if Jay, if the world ends and Jay's right and Chihuahua only wins 2 games in the season, or everyone who plays Dallas is an automatic win or whatever. But I think it's going to be.
Hey.
I think it's going to be better than like the 2019-20 season with everyone playing Rochester, and those obviously getting a jump in their playoff.
You might get the points from Dallas, but I will say this: Dallas always puts up a good fight.
I think if Dallas starts where they ended the playoffs, they'll be a contender for 500 season for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like a 500 season would be a huge success for the transition of coaching
Absolutely.
because they're a rebuilding season.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I mean we've always talked about that. They have the talent. He just didn't have the right thing. And I get back to the goalkeeper rule because since we're just jumping around, we're changing topics like a loose salami and a bull shark aquarium.
So we're the bull sharks, and the topics are the salami.
No,
we're just
the
ripping
whole
pieces
sport. The
apart.
whole sport is a salami.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just like, holy crap! There's a bull shark everywhere. But I think the goalkeeper rule really kind of levels the playing field because no one has practiced this for how they say a team really takes or a player or a team really takes say a system 3 seasons to really get worked up. Like new players in the league take 3 seasons to really become like star indoor players, and new teams and new systems really take 3 years to come and really get that. This just reset everything. We saw a lot of mistakes directly related to the goalkeeper rule, even if they were just hesitant things in these 4 games that were preseason, and they said they had like 3 weeks to work on them because they told the teams a couple weeks in advance. Not like teams are going to be able to pick this up in the next month.
I will say this: for fans that don't know, the Baltimore Blast they have open practices to the fans on Tuesdays. I'm a lucky guy because I get to go more than just Tuesday, but that's beside the point. Um, I've been watching them practice. It's like I feel like some players, even this is not just for the Blast, right? Maybe not. Let me not focus on the Blast, but I feel like some players, more so the top players, will pick up this real quick. I feel like they'll pick up the rule quick. I feel like the players that are either learning or are just a little bit behind the curve, you'll see they're making that mistake more because just watching it in practice, I could see the difference right away. I could see the difference.
When I talked to Tozer, he said he heard a number of comments that were almost worded exactly the same, where some guys like, it's really weird because now I have to think about what I want to do with the ball before I even get the ball. Tozer's like, I teach my 8-year-olds how to do that. Like that's a skill you should have already. And I get what the players are saying. Can't always be looking way ahead, but now you have to think differently. So what the players are basically saying is they know in the system, before the goalkeeper rule, they know player A is going to be here, player B is going to be there, player C is going to be there, and I can dump it behind me if I need to. So they almost don't even have to look where they're passing. They just know a player is going to be.
Right.
Now that system is shifted somehow.
Right. And I think that's where those two comments should meet because the players are coming from the point that they're used to a system that it's kind of like automatic for them, right? And Tozer's coming from the well, not Tozer, but the league is coming from a point where it's like you're a professional player, you should have the ability to adapt when necessary. Because like in the game, yes, you have an automatic system, but it doesn't always happen that way. You need to be able to read, field awareness. You got to be first of all, you got to be aware of what's going on around you, and your field situations change. Whether it's like, okay, we know we have a triangle here with this guy here in front of me, and behind me is a keeper. Now I know that option's gone. Maybe instead of being straight on, I'm more off to an angle or whatever the case is, right? So it's right there that you'll see the top players have that skill more developed than the players that are learning. And that's where we'll see the mistakes happen. And I think that's where like some of these teams that are signing a lot of rookies, even if they have professional experience in outdoor, that don't mean anything here. That don't mean anything here.
Looking forward.
So,
There's a lot of speed on the wave that I think can really take advantage. And so the wave is standard play is 3 defenders and 2 up players. And even though one of the defenders always plays like a midfielder, because there's always like a 2-2-1 type,
It's like a
even though
swinger,
indoor is like,
yeah. Swinger.
it's kind of like a 2-2-1, but the Wave I noticed have been doing a lot of 3-1-1 or 3-2, kind of situations. I think they reverse that and have fast guys up and do the thing where they don't just play it back to the guys in the corner and hit the streaking ball and things like that. I think the game will open wide.
I hope my one hope is everyone knows how I feel about this rule. I'm not particularly for it, but I'm open to if it helps the league, push it forward, right? So not that I'm closed off. It's just I feel like my thing was the implementation and all that, but I won't go back into that.
Yeah.
Mine has nothing to do with gameplay. It has nothing to do with anything. It's all about implementation or whatever. But
we're here, so
we're here.
Either
suck
get
it up,
your
Buttercup, right?
yeah, either get your saws out and cut the hole to fit the square peg, or get a bigger hammer. Whatever you're gonna do, it's here. Like
right.
you're gonna have to do one or the other.
Let's just enjoy what we have and push the league forward. So with that being said, I feel like I wanna see how teams adapt, and that's what I'm excited to see. Whether teams completely change their identity, right? Because, like for example, Dallas last season was really good on possession. They were really good at going wide, side to side, eventually ending up in front of goal. Now I want to see if they become a more direct team, looking to have penetrating passes or overlapping runs with a nice layoff or whatever the case is, right? I just want to see how teams adapt and how they change.
So for Dallas, see if you even get this reference. You want Dallas to go more from a paint the house to a paint the fence approach. You get it?
That's wrong.
You get it? Do you get it? Seriously?
Yeah, I get it. Okay. Because the fence is up and down the house. I got it.
No wax on, wax off. You paint the fence. Okay. Sorry. I punch you.
Bad joke.
It's, you know what it's like? Like a loose salami and a bull shark.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be every show from now on. I was like, let's only do shows once every 3 months now.
I'm excited to see how the league adapts, regardless of everything else. I'm just excited to see the teams.
I think what's going to happen. We've heard a lot of feedback, and we've given a lot of feedback. We've read a lot of feedback. We've heard it from players, coaches, owners, all over the place. What's going to happen is all of these teams are professional athletes, they're professional run clubs, and they're going to adapt. And some will adapt faster and some will come out faster. But I think that like mid-January, we should be able to get maybe even like February 1st, we'll get a really good idea of what this rule can do going to do for them. There certainly will be players that refuse to try to adapt to this and hate it and still complain, and it's going to show on the field.
Yeah.
You can't just you can't have an opinion about something so strongly that's like the core of your game and not change it, not have it affect you on the field.
Yeah, I think Baltimore's going to have some trouble with it in the beginning because aside from the size of the field, it's just, the style of play.
So I've heard two different arguments, both having to do with the size of the field. And I've heard the size of the field is going to be a big detriment to Baltimore because it's so small, and how is that ever going to work? And, because the size of the field is so small, they're going to be able to use Vanzella as a sixth attacker almost all the time now, and it's going to be unfair to the other team. Like, well, it can't be both. Like, which one is it?
Well, no, realistically speaking, what do we expect, right? It's not like Coach Bascom is coming into this without having been under Kelly and having a system he already knows, right? So it's like he's probably going to start with a very similar system, and that transition is going to be a little rough in the beginning. And it's not going to be like all of a sudden we have a new identity and Vanzella is just going to be 100% going forward, right? Vanzella was great with the distribution. Of course he was, but now he's limited with his distribution. And if he pegs it like really far down the field, and we don't get that ball because we don't have a top striker like we did in Venny, right, or in Dantas. We have to rely on a certain different, it's those two pieces right there that kind of change how they're going to play. So adapting is going to be rough. I feel like it's going to be rough. And you could say like, oh, they play in futsal in a smaller field and blah, blah, blah. I get that. I get it. It's possible. It's not that it's impossible. It's just we're trying to change. It's like, here's the situation. In my house, there's this like new stop sign they put up that's never been there. Never been there. There's a guy that's lived here for 20 some years, right? He ran the stop sign. I saw the cop pull him over, and afterwards he talked to me, and I was like, you got your first ticket with the stop sign, huh? He's like, no, because I told the cop I've lived here for 20 some years. That stop sign's never been there. It's a natural instinct to just keep going. It's nighttime. I didn't see it, and guess what? It's just an old habit. It's hard to change. And that's all it's going to be.
Well, there's going to be a lot of old habits of just dumping it back to the goalkeeper and going, oh, crap. Like right as they do it or right after they do it. And I mean, I did see a couple times where, and I think Josh Lemos fell into it, where somebody basically left him the ball for him to come up and get it, but it wasn't past midfield. This is when the midfield rule was in place. He's like, and he just runs up and he kicks it as hard as he can, and knowing he's going to get a free kick, and then he books it back to the goal because he like nothing else to do. That stuff's going to always happen. But yeah, you're right. The old habits and especially I know my players and I know where they're going to be, and I know I don't even have to look. I can just dump the ball back, and I know my goalkeeper's.
Mm-hmm. Right. You're asking teams to rewrite a system, which is fine, right? They're professionals; they'll do it. It's fine. It's just certain teams is going to be rough on when we've had a system for so long. Like we've had Kelly there for 20 years. No, I'm kidding, obviously.
50 years.
But yeah, something like that, right? but he's been there. His system has been in place for a long time, and now we have Coach Bascom, who's been with him for so long. So it's like situations like that, you got to see like, okay, it's going to be a little bit rougher transition. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe, they completely change and I'll just look like a jack. But
I did hear from one player when we first heard about this rule back in early October, and I will not name the name of this player or the team, but they said, we're all professionals. We'll figure out whatever rule they throw at us. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I agree with that statement.
I think that's true. I think the big thing with not being able to compare it to futsal is that, let's say your forward is between midfield and the yellow line in the attacking half. He has a defender in front of him and he has another guy working on flanking him. Right now, the easiest play is to dump it back to the keeper. In futsal, if you're in trouble, you just backheel it out of bounds because you're right there at the sideline. Can't do either anymore. So now you're gonna have to try to take on the first player before the second player can flank you, or back it around yourself and try to take on the second player. It's just gonna be all new aspects of it, and it's kind of exciting to me.
Or they use the wall. Use the wall.
Kind of where but I mean that's like, but still. There's no easy out, because even using the wall, you have to figure out the angles. If the glass isn't up, you only have this high as opposed to 10 feet up or whatever. And yeah, it's gonna be
interesting.
All right, so when Gio and I first were talking about doing the show tonight, we were like, let's probably keep this to an hour, and here we are. And I was like, oh, that'll be easy because we barely have anything to talk about.
So it happens.
But 2 hours later, here we are. Matt's not on, so I don't have a joke for you this week because it's not as good just to get your reaction. I have to get your and Matt's reaction. That's really, fine. To really get
favoritism. Look at this. No, I'm kidding.
I do have some new outro music. It's the second song my band ever recorded from a number of years ago.
That's awesome.
I think we will leave you with that. So thanks to everyone for joining. Jay, I would like it just a crisp $20 bill, so get that ready for me, please. Brad, thanks for joining, even though you joined late. Emma, sorry we didn't get your question in. Kevin, I know you're a diehard Crunch fan. I can't wait to see that game, assuming they
I hope they beat
stream it.
Utica. Let's go Crunch. Matt's gonna hate me.
And so Adam Grosskreutz says this will be the new normal game starting up again. We still have to figure out what we're doing as far as when we're going to do shows, because I want to get them in there so we can talk about like the betting lines each week. And I don't think the betting lines are going to be out on Mondays when we do our shows for the next weekend. So we're trying to do some finagling here. I don't want to pre-record these because I think that's too forced. Only like podcasts and stuff.
Hey.
Wait, what? Did I say
Hey.
that out loud?
Hey.
Still awake here.
Hey. I think we have a great podcast, sir.
Oh, he says the new normal will be 2+ hours.
Oh, got it.
Matt, I know nothing about the betting other than it's going to be through that SSG, SCC, GQ, LMNOP site.
So no, let me not ask a question because then we're going to go to another rabbit hole, and it's another hour.
Scotty
Never
wants
mind.
to have nightly shows, which I cannot do. Literally, my only nights are Monday. So we don't want to do a Friday. Friday night we did in COVID, and it worked perfectly because nobody had anything to do. But then the games started up on Fridays, and we didn't want to have that. So Mondays seemed like the natural, let's recap the games. And I think we spent way too much time recapping the games and not enough time talking about upcoming stuff. I kind of want to flip the script on that. Have it.
Yeah, we'll still
Or-
recap. We'll just focus. We'll change focus. That's all.
Yeah. We'll set a timer. We can set a timer for recapping. I think I can get an on-screen timer. Speaking of on-screen stuff, everyone make sure you subscribe. But I can
Oh
put
wow, we just went 2 hours without saying that. Wow, we're freaking good. Everyone,
I
please
think I can
subscribe.
put
It
a
means a
timer.
lot to us if you subscribe. It really does mean a lot if you subscribe.
We every time we beg, we get 1 or 2 subscribers. And last week we actually got 5. This week so far we've gotten 1. So whoever you are, thank you. Sometimes it gives us alerts as who subscribes, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's a
how
little weird.
I don't
It's
know
a
why
little
it does
funky.
that. If it's subscribing plus the bell and we get it, or
Yeah.
but it looks like we're gonna try to aim for Thursdays, but we don't know because Thursdays it's been my band practice night, and that to Mondays as much. But
Yeah. I mean, if we do switch Mondays, that's okay. And then I won't feel bad about releasing my episodes on Monday.
well, you're gonna have to change yours then
Why?
because ours was already established.
But we're changing
How do you know?
because it's gonna happen.
Probably.
I know us.
All
What do you mean?
All right, everybody out there,
All
have
right,
a good
guys.
night.
Good night, everyone.
We
Thank you
won't
for
have a show
watching.
next week, so everyone have a good Thanksgiving. We will probably be on Monday after the Thanksgiving weekend. That
Yes.
may be our last Monday show. Then we'll try to
Yes.
move it to later. We may even do something crazy and have 2 shows.
Remember when we used to do that?
Yeah, we were insane. Of course, nobody had anything to do, so.
This is true. This
All
is
right.
true.
All right.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone. See ya.
Thanks for watching.